they're adding planes, bro. They're adding planes.
No, it's gonna take ages. It's gonna take ages.
Yup, planes are coming to Foxhole. The developers have been dropping subtle hints about this for a while. Aircrafts can be seen scattered across the map, including the home regions. However, as player Big Peepee Man aptly pointed out, this new feature is still quite a ways off. Although an exact release date hasn't been confirmed yet, it's currently slated to come out sometime in the summer of 2025. Given how far out this release is, details are scarce. So far, we only have a teaser trailer, a brief blog post, and a handful of images. But don't worry, I've taken a deep dive into all of the available information to put together a comprehensive list of everything we know so far, and some speculations on my part. First off, this wasn't really shown in the trailer, but there are pilot uniforms. The Colonial one looks like a cool commando, and the Warden one as a cheap Halloween costume. In the trailer we can see that there are 3 planes on display: the Warden Fighter, the Colonial Bomber, and the Colonial Transport. But there is a 4th plane you might have missed, more on that later. The Warden Fighter is a sleek, agile aircraft designed for intercepting enemy planes. However, for me there's some mystery around the placement of its guns. Are they housed in the wings, or is it that large pole beneath the hull? Analyzing the footage, we can see a single stream of bullets, suggesting that the fire likely comes from the bottom-mounted component. Still, it raises concerns. Isn't that placement dangerously close to the propeller? Also, could this be a dive bomber rather than a fighter? I don't know. Any aviation experts out there, feel free to share your thoughts about this. This aircraft will only require a single pilot, making it the first combat vehicle in Foxhole that doesn't need additional players to operate effectively. However, the developers emphasized in the blog post that player-led ground crews will play a crucial role in rearming and preparing aircraft for takeoff. Additionally, the logistics chain will be expanded to accommodate and support these aerial assets. What this means is not really known, but I hope we can make our own airfields. The devs also noted that every pilot is a player, so we can safely assume that there isn't going to be any AI-controlled planes. However, AI-operated air defenses might be a possibility. In the trailer, something is clearly firing at these bombers, which appears to be some type of flak gun. Whether this anti-aircraft weaponry is controlled by players or AI is up for debate, but most likely there will be a combination of both, because we can't have players active 24/7, so there's probably going to be some type of anti-air AI. Also, a quick thought that I had, it would be cool if the EMGs that we already have could be pointed upwards somehow to counter planes. Now let's talk about the second aircraft, the Colonial Bomber, a multi-crew powerhouse of destruction. It will likely require a team of at least 4 players to operate effectively, a pilot, 2 gunners, and a bombardier to drop the payload. The gunners will be armed with what looks like the gassed machine gun. However, the effectiveness of its payload against enemy targets is still unknown. My guess is that they'll be less destructive than artillery, but will make up for it with greater mobility and range, as they can theoretically fly anywhere on the map. But that raises another question. How will aircraft interact with the hex-based map system? Will planes be restricted to a single hex and require logistical transports to cross borders? Or will they have a way to queue up and transition between hexes seamlessly? Or is there a top hex above all the hexes just for planes? Do you guys have any theories on how this will work? Either way, whatever the devs come up with, I can't wait to see these planes casting their shadows on the battlefield. The third plane is a military transport aircraft. The developers specifically mentioned paratroopers in the blog post. These airborne units will be used to infiltrate enemy lines and sabotage supply routes. This also means that parachutes will become another item for Logi players to produce. Interestingly, parachutes could have more than one use. Beyond dropping troops, they might also enable supply drops, giving Logi players a new way to deliver resources to remote islands and encircled fronts. This plane looks like it'll only need 2 players to function, 1 pilot and 1 gunner. The gun looks like to me that it could be the Katara, similar to the ones we see on the spear tip, but I'm not sure. There's also one more thing. The Warden plane features an open cockpit, making it vulnerable to a well-placed shot that could knock out the pilot. On the other hand, the Colonial Bomber has a closed cockpit, which provides significant protection, since players inside fully enclosed vehicles can't be harmed by direct fire. This gives the bomber a major tactical advantage. This is why I think there should be a way to disable the pilot, perhaps by damaging the cockpit, similar to how targeting a specific part of a tank leads to different debuffs. Imagine the intensity if a bomber pilot were knocked out. The rest of the crew would have to scramble to regain control. The trailer also hints at this, showing specific parts of the aircraft, like wings or engines, being destroyed. This suggests that planes will likely have subsystems, much like tanks do. For example, damaging the fuel supply would force an enemy plane to retreat before it runs out of fuel. Hitting the flaps might reduce maneuverability, or taking out the landing gear would make their next landing extra bumpy. This subsystem-based damage model would add a thrilling layer of strategy to the air combat. But this is all speculation, of course. And now onto the fourth plane. Judging by the resemblance between the Warden fighter and the wrecked aircraft scattered across the battlefield, we can reasonably guess that the Colonial fighter will look similar to the ones parked in the hangars of the Colonial home region. But this is speculation. Most of this video is, but I've given my reasons for why I think this way. Do you have any speculations on Foxhole's airborne update? And is there something I missed in the trailer? Let me know in the comments below. Also, watch this next video and consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 20k by the end of the year. Okay, bye!